Now, you already see the team, and here's what I'm going to say. I'm just going to go over it by one of the Pokemon for the SDA Draft League analysis, of course. But since it's been so long since I recorded a draft analysis, let alone a video for the channel, I quite literally just kept drawing blanks, and I need to visualize everything here, right? Fourth pick overall out of 16 coaches. We decided to make our first pick with Terra Gambit. Now, as you can see, I really do like this Pokemon on this team, especially for the fact that we have a lot of good pivots coming from things like Slowking with Chilly Reception, getting HP back, Zapdos with Volt Switch or U-Turn, depending on what we want to run, Florges with Wish and Baton Pass to then Wish in, or even just Baton Pass into Terra Gambit, and other things like Volt Switch and such. But I think Kingambit is not only probably one of the best picks I could have got as a first pick, but overall I think it's probably one of the scariest picks. In my opinion, Terra Kingambit can quite literally win you games depending on what set you bring. Something like Supreme Overlord, Endgame Sweep with Black Glasses, if you have most of your things done for, and you can just spam Sucker Punch, realistically, you can easily just kind of win games with Terra Dark, Black Glasses, Sucker Punch, or even just Cast Out Cleave, depending on if I outspeed and I got Paralysis with Parahacks with Zapdos and such. Overall, we can run this thing in many different ways. We could run this thing a Swords Dance set. We can even run this thing with AV to counteract maybe some of those strong dark types, like coming from Darkrai, or like, what are some other things? You know, special attacking mons that, we don't really switch well into. We could run Assault Vest on it just to bring it, and we can always wish it back up with Florges. Coming in with the second pick, Slowking, as you can see here, I did want to pair it up with Tornadus Therian, but it did end up getting sniped. But it did not sway me from picking Slowking, and here is why. Obviously, access to Regenerator. You can run this thing with an Assault Vest, run max SpDef, max HP, kind of make it a nice SpDef tanky wall. Running boots on it to make sure we don't get hazard chip, and we can just kind of keep this thing healthy on switch-ins and switch-outs. Getting really good moves, such as Scald, which is probably one of my favorite water-type moves for a Pokemon to have. That 30% chance to burn is really huge in just anyways, burning things that are physically have more physical attack, burning things to negate leftovers, HP recovery, or even just getting burns on things that doesn't really matter, but it gives you chip to put everything at range. For our mods like Kingambit, Meloetta, Dedenne, if you know, you know. But again, having Scald, really good move. Getting access to things like Flamethrower, so you can kick some Flamethrowers, get Earthquake, Drain Punch. Probably never clicked those a day in my life. Maybe run a sneaky file playset, who knows? Ice Beam, Light Screen, Power Gem, Nasty Plot, Psychic Noise to go through them subs, which can actually be very helpful. But Slack Off, Shadow Ball, Thunder Wave, Trick Room. If you want to set up Trick Room, which we can on this team, our team is slow enough. We could do Trick Room, Chilly Reception. We could have some fun with that. But then going on to my next pick, since I'm kind of playing these off wheel picks in a way. Looking at it, I'm like, I guess I should pick up some speed, and I kind of wanted something to resist ground, and that's kind of why I wanted Torn for it. That pure flying is honestly kind of nice, but picking up Zapdos here gave us the speed that we wanted, but also giving us static. Static is really good. Mons that want to rapid spin things away, switch into fighting type moves for Kingambit, switch into bug type moves for Slowking. Probably not gonna be clicking the most accurate moves this season with Hurricane and Heat Wave. Just gotta hope we land. Discharge, Full Switch, gets access to Roost, Tailwind if we want to boost up our speed. Thunder Waves if you just want to rip it off. Weather Ball pairs really well into it as well. Being able to chili reception out into Zapdos and maybe running a spec Zapdos and then bringing in like a ground type or something like that, we can just click Weather Ball and just decimate things, just absolutely decimate things. I think offensively wise, I could see Zapdos putting in a lot of good versatility. Really just being able to switch in and click buttons, kind of like a better Kilowattrel. Maybe not better Kilowattrel, but just as good as Kilowattrel. I think we could see this thing picking up some good KOs and also putting out some good utility and good paras. We pray for the yellow magic, we pray for the hacks. Coming in with the fourth pick, I wanted a solid grass type, but I also wanted a grounded poison. And I was kind of like leaning towards, what was it? I don't really remember, but only thing that reason why I wanted a Mungus because I wanted to create a regen core, right? Overall, this Pokemon maybe doesn't look the greatest, but Amoonguss getting access to moves like Spore, 100% active, 100% accurate move that puts Pokemon to sleep. Toxic will never miss because we're poison. Things like Foul Play, we can run like an Impish Nature, 0 attack, and an Impish Bold Nature, 0 attack, and click Foul Play on mons that want to try to set up on me. Being able to click Clear Smog is also really nice. Getting rid of stat boost. Not knowing this thing does get hacks, we could run some toxic hacks. You never know. Kind of have fun with this Pokemon. I think it's going to be really good util-wise because it's something that you can't under-prep for, because it kind of forces you to either bring a grass type or bring safety goggles, regardless of what the matchup is. I think Amoonguss has good matchups regardless into some of those offensive waters, and especially some of those offensive ground types. Even though its bulk doesn't, its stats really don't show, its ability to just regen HP, even just run Rocky Helmet, like running Rocky Helmet on it, especially being able to take hits and then also get HP back, and then effectively keep taking hits over and over again and spread toxic and sleep is something that you can't under prep for, and especially even under Trick Room, this mon could become a threat. With having even just base 85 attack and base 85 attack, you could really put some beats on some Pokemon, especially with Hex. I mean, power doubles of target stat is it's a base 130 move right there. You never know. I can see this mom putting in some pretty good work. I did have it as a Terra Captain at one point, but I did end up changing it to Cragnole, and I'll explain why here in a second. Now, the Donphan. In my opinion, the best out of the three. It's a pure ground type, only has its weaknesses, of course, as being water, grass, and ice. I think I did actually want to pick up Tusk, I will not lie, but I do think Tusk having that extra typing does kind of make it a little bit worse, but honestly it's not bad with Photosynthesis running a booster speed or whatever, having Rapid Spin, it become a pretty big threat. But the thing I like about Donphan is base 90 HP, base 120 attack, base 120 defense. Its special defense and speed isn't the greatest, I will say, but you can even just run some max Jolly and kind of just have fun with it and run Rapid Spin, right? Sometimes you never know. That's another reason I wanted it. Gets access to Rapid Spin to get rid of hazards. Run Boots on it. Sturdy, always allowing me to always live a one-hit KO at all times. So we can even just run Sturdy, Custap Berry, and then, spin rocks away and lose HP, and then click a strong move in the end. Things like Stealth Rocks is also pretty huge. Then I really like Roar to get rid of mons. Gets really good coverage moves with Knockoff, Ice Shard, Ice Spinner, Earthquake, High Horsepower, Gunk Shot, Encore. Overall, this Pokemon can put in a lot of work, and I honestly do really like using Donphan. Even Choice Band Donphan is pretty fun. Just running Rapid Spin, Earthquake, Ice Shard, And then other move like Gunk Shot even. Or even just Gyro Ball, who knows, Knockoff. Um, Knockoff will be really nice, knocking off opposing boots. Any Assault Vest or such. Overall, a pretty good Pokemon. Everyone take a breather with me. Whew. Alright, next. Looking at the team was pretty weak to Ice. And Freeze Dry absolutely just kind of destroyed me. Just looking at my team, Freeze Dry just kind of runs through me. Takes care of Zapdos, takes care of Amoonguss, takes care of Donphan, takes care of Slowking, and I'm like, I need a decent fire type, and and also having double water isn't bad. Volcanion, overall, its stats are somewhat decent, you know, I would say. 70 speed, 90 speed F, 130 speed attack. Overall, a really good Pokemon stat-wise. Something you can't under-prep for as well, I feel like. Being able to, I can just bring a bulky set, right, and just kind of run, like, moves like Steam Eruption. It does good access weather ball. I could bring like a bulky Willow Whisper and set, taunt set, sub lefties. Like I said, I don't think this is a mon you can under prep for. It's just another one of those Pokemon that I can slap a choice specs on it and just really just kind of rip moves and just kind of do damage, just kind of break things down. I do think it's a really good wall breaker, even though it's 70 base speed. Even just slapping a scarf on it and just kind of clicking buttons, I don't think it's really that bad. Body press isn't the worst either, having base 120 defense, taking out some of those rock types, steel types, ice types. A lot of things that this thing can do. Haze is another thing, getting rid of stat boost. Flash Cannon is huge. Heavy Slam for the fairies. I mean, overall, this Pokemon's move pool is just absolutely insane, and I love it. And I love it, you know, I love it. Now, going on to the second Terra Captain, Cragnole. Now, I saw this mon on the board, and it's a mon that I've been wanting to run for a while. Every time that I'm like, oh, Cragnole's on the board, let me pick it up, always get sniped. And I just had to pick it up and run it as my second Terra Captain because it gets access to Levitate, so you can run things like Terra Steel, right? Terra Steel. Go Terra Steel. You know, Terra Steel. And kind of have fun with it, you know, resisting the dragon, resisting the fairy, immune to ground. Overall, it can be a really fun Pokemon to use, getting access to Freeze Dry to hit them bulky waters. It's going to switch in Acid Armor, Iron Defense, runs the weakness policy sets. I've seen that. Flash Cannon to hit. Like I said, opposing fairies. Gets rapid spin to boost speed. Access to recover sub. Triple X would be absolutely insane. But overall, a really good Pokemon, and I've been wanting to use it for a while. And even with the Slowking, we could easily run a weakness policy set, running like weakness policy, and then switching into Cragnole, clicking a Iron Defense with the Snow defense boost, and activating weakness policy and kind of having some fun there. So yeah. Coming with the next pick, I did want a good Dragon type, but I also wanted something that kind of resisted some of the weaknesses I had. I had like a big fire weakness and a big rock weakness, I would say, considering that I didn't really have much to switch into other than that. So I decided to pick up Como-O, which can be kind of fun, especially for mons that kind of thrive off moves like Hyper Voice and some other moves like Bullet Seed, for like Terra Snorlax, not Terra Snorlax, Terra Torterra, and I don't know all the bullet moves and stuff like that, and then obviously immune to powder moves, Sandstorm and such. But overall, this mon has really good stats and also a really good move with Clangor Souls. Clangor Souls, obviously you lose 33% of your HP, kind of like a substitute, but you get an Omni boost. I'm not sure if Omni boosting is banned, but this mon could easily clean up. We could run sub lefties and then run Clangor Souls, Drain Punch, There's a lot of things this mod can do. We could even just run a special set, because this attack isn't that bad. 100 compared to 110. Like I said, decent bulk, gets Drain Punch, gets Dragon Dance. I know it does get Hyper Voice, so we can't even run like a Boom Burst. Does it get Boom Burst? It is? I think it is. So we could even run like a Clinger of Souls. Clinger of Souls, Boom Burst, Throat Spray. You know, and just kind of go absolutely bonkers with this Pokemon, running it kind of as like a mix set. It could be honestly a lot of fun. Getting things like Dragon Tail, Endeavor, crazy move pool as well. Stealth Rocks, Taunt, Vacuum Wave, Belly Drum. Fun mod. Now going on to our next pick, Florges. I picked up this Pokemon because I did want a fairy type. And it was another Pokemon, like I said, gets Wish, gets Baton Pass. A set that I was thinking of that day is Sleep Talk, Rest, Baton Pass, Wish, and ran like a Viz Def. The abilities aren't the greatest, obviously it doesn't really do much. But even if we just ran like Wish, Baton Pass, or even just Wish Protect, but like even just like Calm Mind, Moonblast, like this Pokemon, and then like max HP, max defense, bold, like overall this Pokemon's gonna be able to tank some hits and can put in massive work. I do think Florges is, or Florbo, people will say, can put in some really solid work. Now coming up with our next pick, I kind of didn't think of it at first, but Meloetta is kind of busted, and here's why. I didn't realize that this Meloetta gets base 128 speed when it changes into this. So it kind of changes the game up pretty well, because we could run like a Relic Song, and then Meloetta transforms, and then it does get things like Drain Punch. It gets Drain Punch, CC, it has Serene Grace. A lot of things we can do with this Pokemon, and I'm honestly kind of excited to use it. Knowing that, we could even just run like, my bad. I'm not sure. I would assume it's banned. Let's see. Thinking a little. Let's see. What are the banned items? Wait. I do see nothing. Shit. We could run Zen Headbutt and then run King's Rock, Serene Grace, Zen Headbutt, and try to get flinches. You never know. I mean, I don't see that it's banned. What are some other things? Ice Punches, Freezes, Defense Drops. A lot of things this mod can do. Overall, solid Pokemon. Give me the Ghost. Ghost Resist, good Spadak, good Spadaf, good HP. And these all kind of change, of course, when it changes forms, but I think this can put in work. I'm excited to use it. And then last but not least, the GOAT to Dene themselves. I kind of just picked it up as a fan favorite, I would say. Not really much about this Pokemon other than Terra Stellar is the way to go. And this Pokemon kills Darkrai. Overall, I would say I like my draft. Definitely, obviously could have had some better mods. With Torn, I think it would have been complete, but I will not complain. I'm excited to use these Pokemon, and I'll see y'all for week 1.